I have no structure. Well, that's where we're going to start off. I don't have structure for this all. I can't hear it on my left ear right now, and that's where I'm at with this. Obviously, you've read the title, and you understand what this is going to be about. So, without further ado, stereotypes are something, they're in society. Everyone does them. Everyone's guilty of it. You can't say that you're not. I know I am. I honestly make a lot of jokes about it. I understand that some people can't take offense to those jokes, but don't take the whole thing seriously. Take part of it seriously. Now that that's out of the way, let's get this show on the road. Mexican stereotypes. Mexicans only drink tequila. They only eat tacos. They only listen to mariachi music. All Latinos are Mexican. All Mexicans wear sombreros. All Mexicans hop the border. All Mexicans are made of dirt. Mexicans ride on donkeys, not cars. I like that one. That one's cool. Anyways, yeah, so there are some stereotypes for Mexicans. Now let's go to another one. Guy stereo. Oh, a guy admitted to these. So, he probably got paid. Number one, we're obsessed with sex. It doesn't take much to get us aroused. We're hesitant and sometimes downright frightened of commitment. We're hesitant to discuss our feelings. I'm making a video right now. Marriage and children are not on the top of our priorities, and we can be total jerks. Okay. Yes. Gay men are often associated with a lisp, speaking in a feminine tone, fashion, a feminist. Those are ones for... Oh, and promiscuous is on here. Fag hag. Anyways, yeah, so those are some stereotypes for, gays. Now, the question is, where do stereotypes come from, and why do they exist? From this point on, this is like my understanding of psychology, and I'm not that good at it, so sorry. There's two theories. One is the prototype theory, which I will just read off. Here's how I understand it. Prototype theory is when you see one thing and you compare everything to that one thing that you have seen, your first example, the prototype, because it's the first thing that you've ended up seeing. Okay. Exemplar theory, in my eyes. You see one thing and you categorize it as whatever it is. You could be blob. This is just blob. And you see another one and someone's like, this is a blob. And you're like, okay. And then you compare the two and you're like, okay, so this is what blobs look like. And then it's like, oh, this one's a blob. This one's completely different than these other two blobs, but you know it's a blob. So you add those three together and you look for similar characteristics. And then you do that with like 6 blobs right here. And then you see this one blob right here and you're like, I don't know what that is. No one told you it's a blob, but if you compare it to the characteristics of the other 6, you can determine that it's a blob. You then add that to your stored memory of blobs. Let's take a mockingjay, for example. You're like, okay, it's a mockingjay. Well, it flies, has a beak, has little talons, has wings, and has feathers. It's like, okay, well, that's what a bird is. And then let's take another one. Let's take this bird right here, I guess, this one right here. And it's like, okay, well, it has feathers, it has a beak, it has talons, and it flies. So it must be a bird. Okay. Then a penguin walks along, and you're like, okay, well, it has feathers, I think. It has a beak, it has talons, but it can't fly. Must not be a bird. Prototype theory. It's when you use one single entity and you then make inferences about every other thing in that category, regardless of whether that label is there or not. You accept that the penguin is a bird, but you then see it as an exception. The fact that it doesn't fly, this bird is an exception. So now your definition is still birds need to fly, but this penguin it's an outlier. So we'll just push it away. We're not changing our definition of what a bird is because this penguin is special. It's a peacock. Cool. Peacocks don't fly. Ostrich walks up. You just push that one away. The difference between the prototype theory and the exemplar theory is when you're presented with a penguin compared to the other birds that you had, you then add the definition of what a penguin is to your definition of birds. So now your definition of birds is no longer that it needs to fly. It is likely that it'll fly. And then when you see an ostrich, it's not that it's not a bird or that it's an exception anymore. It's It's a bird that happens to not fly. It's like, yeah, there are tons of birds that fly, but it's still a bird because we mold our definition to help with this category. Now you can see where the real life applications come in with this, being with stereotypes. Stereotypes stay around because the prototype theory pushes exceptions away. This goes with almost every single social identifier that exists. These stereotypes stick around because people see an outlier, they see an exception, and they push it away and they don't add it into their definition of what it's possible to be with X, Y, or Z social identifier. That's not to say the prototype theory is completely worthless. Like, we shouldn't just, it's really quick connections that the brain is able to make. The problem is when these connections are strong and you don't make exceptions for it, and you keep this one connection and you don't accept any other connections. The quick connections that the prototype theory has, completely amazing. That's how you can make almost all of your inferences. That's how you can assume that if somebody is wearing a rainbow on their hoodie that says LGBT pride, you can make the inference that they're possibly a part of the LGBT community. That's that quick snap. You're able to make those quick inferences. If you see someone in a full military uniform, you can assume that they're in the military. It's quick, instant snap. You understand that. That's what prototype theory does. But you need to make sure to have those exceptions when your definition is going to change. If you notice that there's more than one exception, chances are it's not like an outlier. It's just something that isn't supposed to be a part of your definition. That's what stereotypes are. But yeah, I don't really know what I wish to accomplish with that other than explaining the prototype theory and the exemplar theory. I just thought it was interesting that the reason stereotypes stick around is people are so set in what the definition is of a social identifier that they don't change their definition when they notice multiple exceptions. They instead just keep pushing that. And they're like, no, that's not real. You're not a real Mexican. You're different. When it's not what it is. I don't know what I wish I wanted to accomplish with this. I just wanted to bring attention to it. But tell me if you like these. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. Let me know. If you don't like it, then comment below. Why don't you like it? I mean, granted, it's not the regular vlog that I normally do, but that's what I told you Tuesdays were going to be. There are going to be weird things where I just explain something that goes on in my head, and that's what I'm doing because that's what my channel is about. It's about me because I'm conceited. But I hope you have a good day, hope you have a good night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.